The Human Playbook.
So, I want to talk to you about a very old book. I think it's like 100 years old, or maybe a little less, called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I first attempted to read this, I think, 2021, summer of 2021, and I couldn't understand it because the title alone, you might think it's going to be basic instructions on how to start a business or get money from people or blah, blah, blah. It is deeply spiritual and has very little to do with money. And there was so much I needed to learn before I could understand a lot of the things it's talking about, like affirmations and subconscious, and everything originates in the mind, and infinite intelligence is out there, whether you call it God or the universe or whatever. You can tap into that, and that's where all the best ideas come from, etc. And so I reattempted, after I read Outwitting the Devil, same author, I reattempted to read this around Christmas. And I'm nearly done. I'm stuck on a very boring part where he explains how to get a job. Sometimes there are parts where it gets like really specific, and it's like very dated information. I'm sure you could reapply it to now, but it's like take out an ad in the newspaper. Like otherwise, it's a very, very interesting, good book. And I picked one quote that kind of sums up most of what he's getting at, and it's the starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desire brings weak results, just as a small fire makes a small amount of heat. So, my first question is, do you think wanting something deeply leads to fulfillment or suffering?
Well, first of all, that's gonna be interesting. I haven't read that book fully yet. I heard a lot about it, and it's funny that you say it's highly spiritual, by the way. Yeah, I really like that. And yeah, that's a good question. Desire. If desire, you asked if desire is the root of suffering or fulfillment, kind
Right.
of. Yeah. So, desire, in my opinion, isn't the root of suffering or the root of fulfillment. I think it's kind of neutral in that sense for me. And in my own experience, in my life, I think that desire is really important. And I was just posting last time on my Instagram account a quote from Marcus Aubrey. And I don't know exactly how it went, but he said that unless you don't desire itself, you will not really be fulfilled. So to have desire, I think, is human. It's desire is pointing towards expansion of ourselves, of our abilities. It's this inward drive towards something. We want something more. It's really a spiritual feeling, and I think to have a strong desire for life, a strong desire for doing things or having things even, that's really, really important and fulfilling if you feel the desire, to have a desire. Now, I would say the problem in all of this happens that if you see more or you have the belief system that is telling you that what I desire I cannot have or I cannot achieve. So there happens this gap. You have a desire for a relationship or for a new job or more money, but something inside of you from your upbringing or your programming is telling you you can't have it. You're either not pretty enough or not smart enough or whatever. So when your inner being, how I like to call it, or your higher self is calling you to expand, is telling you, hey, look, you should expand, you should have that desire, it's beautiful, I want to go there. But then your belief system tells something else. You're not in alignment with this higher, deeper sense of desire, of wanting to take part in this life. And there happens a separation. And I think the pain, the suffering, is that exact separation, between desire and the belief of not being able to have it. So, yes, I would say that to eliminate desire, for me it wouldn't be the answer. I would embrace it, and I would just try to relax into that feeling of desire, to just be more present with the desire. It doesn't even have to at the end happen exactly as I imagine it to be, but just to wake up in the morning and having a desire to do something, or I think that's beautiful. I think many people, they live their lives not really having desires anymore, and I don't think that they are happy. I think they're more like dead, on a soul level.
Yeah, cut themselves off and denying themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So then why do the Buddhists say, and I'm not a Buddhist and I haven't studied it, so I could be misunderstanding, why do they say that desire is the root of all suffering? Because that tempts me to say, oh, if only I can trick myself into not wanting things, then I will be happy. But when I have attempted, it doesn't work, and it's just more denial. So is there still truth to that sentiment that's survived? How do we square that up?
Yeah, I mean, the wanting, I think, again, I think it's such a subtle way of, or it's a balance act. So if you want something, and I think it's very easy to get lost straight away in I'm having that, again, that lack of not having it. I think the wanting, if the wanting occurs, so that could be an interesting point of view. Um, if the wanting comes out from a lack, so if the wanting is inspired by a lack of something, you might be suffering because it implies, or it says that where I am right now, I am not happy. It's not good, and I want to be somewhere where I'm gonna be happier. And this, for me, is, I think, what the Buddhism is talking about in a sense. But um, if a desire on a spiritual level, it is probably, it makes you feel it makes you feel good in the moment, kind of, and you use that fuel to act in the moment and to express that desire, that desire and zest for life. You straight away put it into action somehow. It's very hard. I don't know if you get to what I want to say. Maybe you can put it in better words than
And
me.
I think what you're talking about too is the delicious, fun joy of daydreaming and imagining. That to me is desire, thinking a lot about the thing that I want. And yeah, sometimes they say wanting is kind of the wrong word for this, and wanting implies lack. And desire might be more of like a sort of no resistance wanting, a sort of like, this is something I can have, and it's fun to think about this thing that I can have. Maybe I don't have it right now, but I can have it. So I think imagination and positive daydreaming and like reveling in that, that's what's so fun and expansive and animating. And I think that's why he's saying desire is so important, and strong desires is so important, because having that very detailed, or maybe not so detailed, but lots of variations, something, image in your mind that you can slip into and imagine that reality, that will get you to do a lot of things. And that will get you to look out for stuff that will help you get there. And that might be the whole subconscious thing. And I'm sure we've talked about this, but I was talking to somebody that helps me out, like, at the gym and stuff. And he's very like spiritual and kind of into this stuff. He's very serious, but I was like, he made some comment about programming. And I asked him, like, what is the subconscious? I don't really understand this. People keep talking about it. Books keep giving me different definitions. And he said something like, it's the part of you that is breathing. It's the thing that's always on, whether or not you're paying attention. But that thing is always paying attention. And if you feed it good images, good thoughts, good ideas, good people, and you can pick those, then it will start to prime itself to get more of that. And so maybe that desire, if you deny yourself your desire, you're telling your subconscious, don't look for ways to get it. But if you have no resistance and you say, I can't have it, it'll say, sure, whatever you want. What do you think about that and the subconscious and programming it through desire.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. I think that also the subconscious mind, it's always talking or reacting somehow more to emotion and to a feeling. And I think that's how you can, or from what I hear from the neuroscience and Bruce Lipton and people like this, they talk a lot about this, that the subconscious mind is, it talks to images, or you speak through images to the subconscious mind, and through emotions and feeling. That's how you actually program your subconscious mind a little bit better. And I think desire, exactly as you say, to just daydream about random stuff that really makes you feel happy, or that you feel like that's something I would desire. That's how my life would look like if I would love it, if I would be happy, whatever. I think that's such a powerful message that you send to your subconscious mind. And then um, I also love to afterwards drop that vision and follow more the energy afterwards. That you amplify, you get into that feeling of desire for something, that inspiration, and then later you drop that image, you let go of the outcome, you stop insisting that the vision that or the daydream you had has to happen exactly that way, but you're more present in the moment again, and you try to feel and follow that excitement feeling, like what would it be, what's in my surrounding right now that would awaken that similar energy, and you follow it like breadcrumbs. And then I think your subconscious mind is leading you towards what you just programmed with that daydream. It's leading you more and more towards that thing. You might meet somebody you feel attracted to, or you want to meet, or you go to some place. And I think in that way you're always led to that daydream by being more in the moment, letting it go, and just following that energy from moment to moment, in that sense.
So then what programs are coming in and shutting down the desire and saying you actually can't have that? Like what do you think are some of the ways that we are being resistant?
Hmm. I love those questions, by the way, for everybody who's listening. I feel like I'm here with PJ on a research. Like, you ask me these questions, and now I gotta dig in my own experience. So
They're
I
hard
haven't it
questions.
all
I don't know how to answer them.
Yeah. They're hard questions, and I think that's the beauty of it, that we explore it, we discover it, getting ourselves to know a bit better, because it's challenging for me. But um, okay, let me unwrap that question, or get into it. What beliefs are blocking that desire? Um, yeah, so for me personally, the main belief that I for sure have is I can't have it. So if the desire is coming, like, I see my day to day life, how it's going, there's some routine in it, and my belief would be, it would need to be happening, a miracle would need to happen in order to have this thing, because it's always just the same. You wake up every day, you have your breakfast, you do your sports practice, you do your breath work, whatever it is that you do. um, there's no chance that something so unexpected would come and turn your life around into a new direction. So that would be one belief, and I think that's coming from the conscious mind, or from the inner criticism, in that sense. Because I think what we have a desire is, or when we have a vision, it is always something that is obviously that we don't really have yet. So it lies somewhere in the unknown. Our rational brain cannot exactly see how we would, maybe sometimes it will, but I think not always it sees exactly the whole journey towards that destination. There are many steps which are hidden in some way. And I think a main belief is that if we don't see those steps, if we don't really know exactly the journey, it's just impossible that it's going to happen. You know, the new relationship, the better job, the whatever we desire, um, we can't really see the path, and therefore it must not be existent in some way. I think that would be a big belief.
I heard
Yeah.
Abraham say something where she was like, if you could see the aerial view, and what I think she means when she says that is you guys are in 3D. You have very small slices of time. and you're in very, very small frames of the movie. The aerial view is 4D, maybe, where we can see every frame stitched together, and we can see what could happen this way, what could happen going this way. And she said the moment you desire something, it activates the pathway towards it. You can't see it, though, in your present. We can see it for you. And if you could see it from our aerial view, you would never again worry about getting what you desire. No matter how crazy, no matter how off your routine and off your normal path it is, it's immediately turned on because you desired it and you picked it on that frequency. Just can't see it. And that's very comforting because it's like, oh, there's probably many different ways and many different steps that I could come out of my normal life towards this thing that needs a miracle, so-called.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
I have a question there later.
okay, well, ask me that then now, if you want to.
Yes, because I just want to stick to that what you just said. So let's say there's this aerial pathway, and the moment we have this desire, this path is laid out,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is somewhere there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for me, the question would be, how would we go onto that path? How do we find the path exactly? How do we know we are on that path?
You know the answer. Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, I want to hear it from you.
It's the emotional guidance system. You stay at that emotion, and you keep that vision in your mind, and you say, I can certainly have this. And me not having it right now doesn't mean I don't actually have it. And I'm so excited to be surprised in how this unfolds. This is going to be so much fun. And I'm already having fun just thinking about it. So I don't even need it that much. So I'm not even attached to the outcome. And I'm so present right now. That's what I think that you would do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I think there lies exactly like this with the daydream. I love that you brought the daydreaming up because as well, let me give you an example to make it easier to understand it. It's something in my personal life as well that is present, so I can speak better about it. Let's say a relationship, you ended something, so that's in your past, and that's the person you can taste, smell, you can see, this person is there from the past. Now you have the past so vivid, so it's easy to be attached to it, but the desire is somehow else. You might be desiring from this previous relationship, you have more desires for a new relationship, maybe more fun, maybe more lighthearted. Whatever you learned from the previous relationship that wasn't good, you know better of what you want. I know better of what I want. Now, here's the challenge. There's the desire of it. There's the desire that is leading me into a potential new future. Now, it's really hard for me to imagine or being so certain that there needs to be somewhere this new person or this new opportunity of a relationship, because I can't yet taste it, I can't yet see it, I can't yet feel it. So, but something inside me desires it. So, it's really important there, I think, what you said to kind of how would you let me ask you this, how would you make it for me being easier to approach this future that is kind of unknown, uncertain, I can't see it yet? How do I program my unconscious mind so much that I actually get to believe more into a future I can't yet see, taste, feel, sense that much? But how could I convince myself so much that this future is there waiting for me, and I can go into that?
This is interesting because I actually don't think you need to believe anything. I think needing to believe and convince yourself is actually, do you hear the resistance in that? It's like, it's very rigid, and I need to do something. I think what's very funny about some things that are going on in my life, and this doesn't apply to everything that's, ever so-called manifested. I've manifested some things by being very specific and very intense about them. But a lot of amazing things that have happened for me, I was extremely casual about and said, that would be really nice to have. That'd be so cool. I like to think about how cool that would be. And then I drop it. or I stay pretty general, or I think about it sometimes, but I'm not scripting about it. I'm not thinking about it every day, and I'm not saying those are bad to do. I think there's a place for those, and those can get you very tuned in on something that's gonna maybe be a long-term thing for you, and you wanna be on that frequency every day, whatever. I think you don't need to convince yourself of anything. You don't need to believe anything. You just need to have fun thinking about it. And then just be kind of general. Abraham says every time there's resistance on something, go general. Because everything is two things. It's wanted and unwanted. And so if you know you're unwanted really well and it's hard for you to think about the wanted because you're so acquainted with the unwanted version, go general. Just think about, it'd be nice to have that. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, I'm done thinking about that. Next thing, I'm going to go play tennis. I'm gonna go ski. I'm gonna go read a book or like have fun with friends. You move on from it, and then
I love
it's
it.
very gentle. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love it. It resonates. It makes me feel relieved from what you just say. And I think there we also get to the root of your question, you know, of the desire. You see, there's one part of me that resists, that wants so much, and I think that's what the Buddhism, the Buddhism is talking about. You know, it's that rigid way of wanting. You can't let go. It's that attachment. That's one side of me. I want to make this happen right now, and if it doesn't, I feel kind of bad, and I don't feel good. But the one that you just explained, well, there is also desire in it. There's also a lot of desire, but it's mixed up with that lightheartedness, with that playfulness, with like, I want it so much, but I kind of have it reminds me of tennis game. Okay, that's a good analogy or example. You want to win, but you cannot play well if you are not letting go, if you don't let your arm loose, if you are kind of if you're not insisting so much that the ball always, you know, is perfectly landing. You and I think that's the balance act I wanted to express. And you see now through this conversation, it gets more clear for myself as well. It's like you kind of have the desire, the wanting, the outcome, like winning the tennis game or meeting a new mate. But at the same point, you want to be spiritually flexible. You want to still experiment, try, have fun, you know, let it go if it doesn't happen exactly as you imagine it should happen. You kind of have the same part. So I think to have this balance, that's beautiful. There is desire, there is a zest for life, there's an inspiration, there's something that moves you, that wants you to do, but then you also kind of let go if it doesn't happen. And I don't know, I think that's the balance act of you know, that's sometimes an art of living that's not so easy to always achieve for myself.
It's not easy, and it hasn't always been easy, but it gets easier, or it has been easier for me when there's a lot of fun things going on in different parts of my life. If there's something I want really bad, it's because I think it's going to save me from the other parts that I'm neglecting. And so the more I have on the stove, the more fun I'm having at the gym, at tennis, with friends, with all the projects, all the things I want to do, going places, seeing things. If one part is kind of like, there's something I want there, but it's not exactly there at the moment, or it's not working the way I want it to. Fortunately, I have a lot other things going on, not to distract myself, but to genuinely feel good about. So it's easy to stay in a higher vibration and feel fun and good and daydream from a place of feeling fun and good if you're kind of, you got other stuff going on. And so I think that's the part of the balance too, is no one thing will save you, and desire can't save you.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's a good. Oh, do you want to ask something?
No, not ask, but you made it again clear for me. I love to express it in symbols. Again, when I see, for me now, just as you spoke, the tennis match, there was an experience because I do sometimes competitions. And last summer, again, like, I think the society or something, it's pushing us to desire, let's say, to win the match, to win, the vision that we have. This is the end game. We know we need to achieve it, so we want that really rigidly. But if that becomes the center point of our focus, if that's the entire focus, we miss the game in between. We miss the joy that is actually there of trying to hit the ball differently, of trying to, as you say, to go and drink something with a friend, or dance, or put on the like turn on the music really loud and just dance at home, or cook a good meal. We miss the game, that the game of life in the present, because we are so much trying to achieve that one thing. And then our life, when we try to achieve, and if we only see that, the outcome that's going to make us happy, if we only see that and we miss the day-to-day life, which has so much joy, it becomes more and more boring. And the more and more boring life becomes, the more we actually want that goal. And then we create that circle. We want it even more, it gets more boring, we want it even more, and the distance creates so much, emotions that do not feel good.
You just reminded me of something perfect. So I play at this really fun tennis club. And tennis is a cool sport because it's like kind of classic, but it's very athletic. And, there's a certain kind of person that plays, or certain kinds of people. And there was like this really fun tournament thing yesterday based on the Aussie Open, like Australian Open. And you're doing all this like round robin thing. And if you win this one, you go over to this court and you play these people. And it's like really fun. And the thing that's always so funny to me when I go to play tennis is when there are people that are really serious about it, because it makes me laugh, because I'm like, what are you doing? You are so serious that it's like awkward. Like, not for me because I'm having so much fun, but I'm like, you're not even having fun. And you're like, none of this matters. Like, we're not at the Australian Open. We're just being silly and playing tennis, like at our little local tennis club. And so that's, I think that kind of sums up a lot of like what I'm getting from this is like, it's actually not fun when you really want to win. Like, it's only fun if I don't care. And that's when I have the most fun, because it's like, oh, I hit it into the net. Oh, well, that's funny. But then when you're playing against a couple that really wants to win, it's like, this isn't fun. You guys are being weirdos. Like, this is all just for us to have fun. So I think that's...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think with those people you see the most, that even if they win, I'm not sure if they are saved from their misery somehow, you know?
They still need more.
Yeah.
And so, like, even when I lose, I'm still like, that was so fun playing with you guys, Because it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to have fun. I just want to hit the ball over and over. I could just do it all day.
Yeah.
So, that's funny.
I wish to play against you.
I know. I'll come to Switzerland. I'll bring my racket. It'll be so fun. I seriously need to come. Yeah. Okay. So this is my last question. How do you know if what we are desiring, if what we're chasing after is actually worth it?
Okay, let me drop this. I don't think anything that we are trying to achieve or that we chase is worth. I don't think that thing, is worth anything. I think it's neutral in some sense. That might make some people sad. I don't know. It makes me happy. It makes me feel again. It brings the lightness. It doesn't mean that I'm not chasing it, but to say that it is worth something, I mean, okay, maybe I'm going radical here, but anything that you achieve, you will give away latest when you die. So you might ask, what is it actually worth it anyways? Again, it can be scary, but it can be liberating. For me, it's definitely liberating. I still chase things. I still try. I think it's as you explained it so nice. It's for the fun of it. You still have a tennis court, and you still have points that you count, because it makes the game fun. It is a challenge, that you have. So, again, we can talk about how can we be less rigid? How can we be, and I think that's a big part for me right now. And this conversation that awakens it in me is, how can I play that game of life, chase things, try to have visions, and how can I still be in the moment, enjoy it, have fun about it, letting go of that. I think that's beautiful to letting go of that rigid vision that I have about my life, about marriage, about having a woman or a job or making money and stuff, and playing more, letting it go, but still letting it be there. And I think, um, yeah, that's something that I like to explore now after this conversation. Okay, how can I be more lighthearted? How can I have more fun? How can I um, not be so rich, not be so serious? Um, I grew up being very serious, like too serious about everything, about competing, about stuff. Like, it's a challenge to be for me to be a little bit less serious and see what's happening, and also taking failure not so serious, to fail, to hit the ball into the net, to realize, okay, I might have fucked up some things, I might have not been great, I might, haven't been perfect today. I think that's an interesting thing for me to learn still. It's crazy how many times how much I know about it, but how much I fall back into being the extremely serious guy somehow. I don't know. What would you say about yourself? Are you more of a serious guy? Because you're also reading stoic books and a lot of books, and you're trying to be good. I don't know if I feel it right, but you're trying to be good and to do it good. But do you have struggles with it too?
And it's such an interesting thing that I don't know if we were recording at this point, but you were talking about the shadow. And I haven't read Jung, but I want to, and I want to become very familiar with what is our shadow, what is our shadow self, and what darkness do I need to incorporate. And this is sort of unrelated, I guess, to the desire thing, and what we're talking about, but who cares? Every time I've tried to extinguish any darkness that I have, and I guess that sounds a little cringe, but how do I say this? I think sometimes evil can be a little fun. Not actually real evil, but like the idea of being a bitch is like funny. I don't want to hurt anybody, but every time I've tried to extinguish that, I also extinguish my ability, my light side. And I do have this very strong desire to be good, but I also have this very strong desire to be a whole person. And whether I'm serious or unserious, like I've gone through this war for like the 5 years I've been doing PJ, and I finally like gave up on the war when I realized the thing people like about me and the thing I like about me is that I'm both. I can be very serious and I can be very unserious. I can be very funny and very unfunny. I can be very happy and very sad. I can be very nice, very earnest, very kind, and I can be very rude. It's not evilness that I like. I like rudeness. I think that's fun. I think it's fun to like piss people off sometimes and say that, you know what, fuck off. Like that's a boundary. Like get out of here. I think that's fun. And I think that's human. And I think it's animal. I think it belongs to the animal realm. Like, and we're animals. So I'm not sure that's really like what you were asking, but yeah. And I mean, I got obsessed with Letters from a Stoic back in 2020. And that's what inspired me to make posters originally, because it was so simple and so profound, and I needed to find a way to like internalize it.
You need to teach me that, to find fun in being rude. I think I had, maybe still have, a huge tendency to fall into the nice guy syndrome. You heard about it. Um, so I something when you say it, it feels like it resonates. Like I wish to find fun in sometimes being rude, but not to hurt them, but more to protect myself. To be like, I can be in dickhead right now, because yeah, you
And
gotta teach me that.
rudeness has consequences. Like, if I'm rude, I am rude. Like, and people won't like that. But to deny it. It's a thing that comes very naturally to me, and always has since I was a little child. Like there are videos of me in this very same frequency, where if I want something, or if you're getting in my way, or if I want it, mostly if I want to be left alone, it's mostly I want to be left alone. Rudeness is what I use to maintain that. And I think a lot of people need help being able to say, you need to leave me alone. And if that's rude to you, great, because you're being rude to me by stepping all over me or something. Um, and I think it's actually a lot of bullshit programming to say being rude to other people is the worst thing you can do. I actually think it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, it might hurt their feelings for a second, but they'll live. And, everybody's feelings are always getting hurt. Or maybe they're not. I'm not sure.
Are you never scared of being rude all the time and then ending up alone?
Of course. I mean, it's something you have to be very careful with. And there have been times where I have actually really hurt people and it's backfired and people don't like me. But there's maybe when I like to play with rudeness, I like to play with the idea of being like a court jester. And I'm doing this as a joke. I'm talking in this way as a joke to show you that it is actually really stupid to be this way. It's actually kind of stupid to be a rude bitch. So I'm confused by it too. And
All right.
like when I wanna make new friends or be liked by people, I can be like the nicest, silliest person ever. So it's like I have both, and you have both. But I like to work with them, and I don't want to deny any of it because it doesn't work.
No.
Denial just doesn't work.
No, and I think it's as you say, it's just being human. It's accepting all parts of it, and I think, it reminded me relationships. Once I was reading David Data, The Superior Man.
I
whatever.
just downloaded that. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it's amazing. He has a chapter of exactly that, of integrating the shadow side. Like if you look the dynamics now in the relationships, there is always the feminine and the masculine part, and the feminine part, it likes to be raped, but in love. So that, and from experience I can say that. So there is even a desire to have both the shadow. You want to be controlled. There's a part that wants to be controlled by, the woman wants to be controlled. The man likes the bitch, the integrated bitch. He likes the bitch who loves herself, the queen, but still in love. So I think to combine both a little bit, like the dark energy of yourself that protects you as a man, that fights for yourself, that takes what he wants.
That's what I mean.
Not just,
yeah.
And to integrate that, I think that's fun. Yeah.
And I have like this weird privilege where I have a very strong feminine side too. And so I never had an opportunity to deny my feminine. Like I was never just going to be like a normal masculine man. I have a lot of masculinity too that people have pointed out to me where I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, there are things like, anyway. So I never had, like I said, the opportunity to shut out any femininity. I had to welcome all of it. And same with like the bitch side. I know exactly what you're talking about. Same with like, there's so many parts of my life where I want to be in control, and there's parts of my life where I don't want to be in control, like if you know what I mean. So everything gets blended, and every time you deny it, you deny all of it. If I deny my darkness, I have to deny my lightness. And when it comes to art, when I've experimented with just being positive, because I'm like, oh, maybe that's what the world wants from me. They only want me to be nice. They actually get bored. I get bored. People love the surprise of a little middle finger, That's fun. That's what people are like. Nobody is always nice. So
yeah,
let's.
I love that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just you also said Sega Young, and from it there happened a lot of therapy modalities where you would play role games, you to see them more, and it just made me think like I would love to once have a little conversation with the bitch inside of you, or the rude guy, or whatever, to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be discovered in what we deny about ourselves. But I want to see if I can round this out with one last question about desire. I mean, I already did my 3 questions, but just so we can hit this. So do you think, how do you make your desire burn strong without it being a need or a want or something you're dying to have? How do you fill it with that heat and that energy, and radiance that really animates you?
Mm. Good question. So, because I love to always also integrate my body and stuff, because I love nutrition and breath work and stuff, I have one thing that I work with my body, especially as a man. So, are you familiar with Wilhelm Reich?
No.
He was also psychoanalytics, and he was set or put into prison, I think, at the end of his life because he made this di- um, connection between our libido, our sexual desire, and our desire for life, to put out our gifts, to pursue our dreams. He made the connection between those two, and I think that's one way. If you ask me, how do I amplify desire? I think I'm a passionate guy. I think I have a lot of desire in my life to do things and to explore things. And as a man, the practice of semen retention, it is for me extremely important, to be honest. I feel that if I deplete myself too much sexually, I also feel that in other areas in my life. And if I keep that energy inside of me, I feel that the desire to do things, to use that energy, amplifies a lot. And it makes also sense. Our sexual energy is the energy that creates babies. It is the energy that has a desire. It's the first desire that we feel is towards another person, man or woman, doesn't matter. It's a desire that we have. So, um, if I think about the chakra systems, if we just keep the desire in our genitals, down in our parts, it just stays there. But if we actually bring it up, breathing up into our heart, into what our heart wants, um, I think that's a really potent energy that creates more desire for life, to build things, to do things. So, that's one way on how I think desire is important, and how I amplify it.
That's so cool that you say that, because I often think that making art and then putting it into the world is very sexual, and you are releasing it, and then the world reproduces it. The world makes more of it or less of it, but it is very penetrative and it is very explosive, to give yourself out into the world, and it requires a lot of energy to be able to consistently do that. So I know exactly what
100%.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think libido, and I think libido, like the actual like physical sexuality part, is actually just one manifestation of the core, like potent desire power of consciousness. I don't think it's like desire for life and desire for sex are like ends of a spectrum. I think desire for sex is just a part of a core animating desire, now that you bring it up.
Yeah, 100%. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly how I experience it, and how I believe it to be, as well. Yeah, and that's so important. And I always also say, like, when you make love, especially as a man, I always animate myself to feel like at the deepest core, when I make love to a woman, or you know what is the deepest desire, what do I feel, what I really want. And I believe every man who feels into their depths, they feel it's this transcendence. It's you want to give everything of you until there is nothing of you anymore. You want to burst out into one single spiritual ejaculation. And I think the art and a life lived like that, I think that's something I try to achieve. That I am, like, if I see the world as a woman or my lover, my partner, I want to give everything of me so much. I want to share every drop of mine so deeply and so fully, and not hold on to that little me. You know, I think that creates so much desire for me to show up. And again, when I am on semen retention, when I use that energy, it amplifies that desire to take part in life that much. Yeah.
I have this very strong impulse for this year, and I'm already on it, to make more art than I've made in the last 4 years combined. And there's going to be so much there's so much spiritual, physical, mental discipline and energy that will go into this, but it is that impulse of I want to give away everything. I want to put so much of myself out into the world and leave nothing left. I don't want to hoard anything. I don't want to save anything. I don't want to waste anything. And there's always been an impulse to oh, don't share that yet because that's really good. Don't share it yet. It's so good. That makes no sense. You should want to, the moment you get a great idea, I want to act on it and put it out.
Beautiful.
Because the other sexual component that I discovered a few years ago about art, and especially now in the modern world we're in, is you get feedback from the world, and some of your genetics die, they don't work or they're faulty, and some do so extremely well, and you just have to keep giving of yourself over and over and over. And the people that can give themselves the best, they're in alignment, but they're also in a physical, mental, spiritual discipline that allows them to keep giving. And even Picasso, I think he made 150,000 pieces in his life, and that's 3 a day. It's absurd. It's such a high volume. So
yeah,
that's the burning desire, is to give away, give myself away. And it doesn't feel like a way of I am sacrificing myself, but I am generative. You are generative, generous.
Mm-hmm.
So that gen root.
Yeah.
Which is synonymous with life or something. I'm not sure, but
no. Again, there's so much connections between the physical and the spiritual of what you just talked, and this really sparks interest and curiosity and excitement inside of me, and I think that's, again, I love to because I was reading so many books about tantra and sexuality, and I think that's so beautiful what you just said with Picasso, or also with yourself, to give so much. And you need to, I think the energy that is gonna help you do that is when you really try to make love to life, when you are so much in love for what you want to do, when you say I want to create art, but I also want to create, or I want to make love to this life, to the things that I do so much. And I think that's how you use that sexual energy, which is then no more sexual at all. It's spiritual. But, also when I see it physical, what happens a lot, we trap this energy in our lower energy systems, and we don't really bring it into the heart. We're not fully there. We're not fully there with the heart. And I think it's a beautiful intention that you set to, bend life over and give it all you got.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's so nice.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect ending. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Bending life over and giving it all.
Or the other way around. It's fun the other way around. Just kidding. Okay. Well, this was good, Sven. We'll talk next week.
All right.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Yes.
All right. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. The Human Playbook.